Welcome, everyone, to Quarantine Learning, where we take a deep dive into a topic neither of us have ever learned about.
Our topic today, what is Lithuania? Specifically, though, Lithuanian cinema. I'm your host, Seth Yoshinobu.
And I'm Will Buss, and let's get to some education.
When it drops.
Quarantine learning, quarantine learning, quarantine learning, learning, quarantine, quarantine learning, learning, quarantine, quarantine learning, learning, and quarantine, 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 quarantine learning.
Learning in quarantine!
Here is a brief history of Lithuanian film. Lithuanian film dates back to the early 1900s when the first short films were being created in the country. That later spurred on feature-length films in the 1920s and 30s. But in 1940, with the Soviet takeover of Lithuania, the film industry experienced some major changes, as much of the creative freedom was lost. Many films had to go along with the communist ideals and were greatly influenced by Soviet political agendas of the time. But once Lithuania regained its independence in 1990, this all changed. The funding for filmmaking had decreased, but independent and smaller studios began to emerge, as creative restrictions were lifted in this area. Over the last decade or so, the Lithuanian film industry has experienced huge growth, with the audience for the country's films increasing from 2.48% in 2012 to 23% in 2015. With many of the filmmakers today growing up in the years following Lithuania's independence, there has been a huge influx of new films that take on the modern world and Lithuanian culture. Here are some of these new Lithuanian films.
The first is Summer of Sangalium. Sangal is a simple girl who dreams of becoming a stunt pilot, but her lack of self-confidence and vertigo are preventing her from getting into the cockpit. Sangal meets another teenage girl, Aste, at an air show. As the two girls spend more time together, Aste finds ways to get alone time with Sangal. Throughout the film, Sangal is shown cutting herself in the bathroom. Aste uses photography and fashion to highlight Sangal's inner and outer beauty. The two girls become romantically involved, and they enjoy their summer days together throughout, revealing their passions and secrets to each other. This film was directed by Alante Kavite, female film director born in Lithuania, and wrote and directed two other films, including this one.
Oh, very interesting. Another highly regarded Lithuanian film in the last decade is called The Gambler. Considered by many as Lithuania's best film of 2013, The Gambler is a drama directed by Ignas Joinis. In the film, paramedic Vincentis, a passionate gambler, is forced to make radical decisions to pay his debts. Vincentis is struck by the idea of creating an illegal game related to his profession. After that, love, life, and death will be at stake.
Wow. Now, what do all these films have in common, you may ask? They both won awards at the Sidabrinė Garbė Film Award Show in, where?
Lithuania. What we're learning about today, folks.
Sidabrinė Garbė translates to Silver Crane in English. It was started in 2008 and was presented by the National Association for Author Rights of Audiovisual Artists. In its annual awards festival that hands out awards for things like Best Film, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, etc. And one could call it the Oscars of Lithuania.
The Oscars of Lithuania. Very prestigious awards, as I might add.
However, dark times fell upon the Lithuanian Film Academy, who present the award show, when they were filed for bankruptcy in 2019, which led to the award show being canceled that very same year.
And in Lithuania film culture, there are also many festivals. And one of these festivals is the Vilnius International Film Festival. The Vilnius International Film Festival is the largest film festival held in Lithuania in both number of films and its audience. It's been called the most important event in Lithuania film culture.
It must be pretty important.
I mean, come on.
Come on.
The biggest? There are 4 main awards that the festival has that include the Audience Award, the Audience Award for Lithuanian Film, the Audience Award for a Short Film, and the Short Film Competition, whose winner is selected by a jury. In 2018, the festival showed 112 feature films and 58 short films, being the best films to come out of Europe. I mean, that says a lot about the Lithuanian film culture that's been developing over the last few years. They really care. A notable film that is called The Loving Vincent showed the life of Vincent van Gogh over 95 minutes, except it was an animated film. I mean, that already has me intrigued.
I love animated films.
Vincent van Gogh and art, animated film, spectacular. And each frame was fully painted in the style of Vincent van Gogh. And it was the first fully painted animated feature film in history.
What do we like about Lithuania? Cinema, the culture, the cinema culture of Lithuania. I mean, I'm really a big fan of film myself, so the film festival, I would really love to go to that, obviously.
Yes, it poses a great opportunity to see lots of different creators and what they have. I really like the diversity. I mean, when you have 112 feature films and 58 short films, I mean, that offers a lot of different opportunities to see what people have to offer.
And the themes that these films are dealing with, the first one, the summer film, dealing with, like, you know, two girls, you know, romantically falling in love, LGBTQ representation. We love that.
Yes.
Absolutely. Has to. I mean, it's just great. I mean.
And the other thing that really catches my attention is just how much film has emerged in as a Lithuanian art form. I mean, it's really taken hold, and, you know, following the Soviet takeover and then Lithuania's new independence in 1990, it really has given artists the freedom to create things that they wouldn't have been able to before. And we see that here with the amount of films that are being created and covering topics that, you know, before definitely couldn't have been covered. So that's really great to see.
Yep. Oh, would you look at the time? That is all the time we have for Quarantine Learning.
It's been a great educational session, and we hope to see you next time on Quarantine Learning.
Quarantine Learning, Quarantine Learning.